Hello everyone and welcome back guys to Gran Turismo Sport. Yes, it's been a while since we jumped on GT Sport, but recently I've sort of been wanting to get back onto it again on this channel. You know, GT Sport is very, very good fun, and yeah, I thought maybe, just maybe as we head into 2020, I'd like to try and get back into it a bit more, try to get good on GT Sport at last. You know, when you see all the esports events, it does sort of motivate you to try and get a bit better on this game. But yeah, today we are here back on Gran Turismo Sport. This is going to be my first 3 races back on this game in literally months, so we'll wait and see as to how we fare. But it was quite weird sort of relearning this game, everything like that, and hopefully towards the end of the video we can slowly get back into our rhythm here. You can see this was GT3s at Austria, and obviously it's a couple of weeks old now, this combo. I forgot to get the video out, but yeah, it was Hurricane City towards the front of the field. Now, having not played the game in quite a while, I decided to go in the Toyota GT3 car, which is very, very strong around some tracks. Austria, or the Austrian Grand Prix circuit, the Red Bull Ring, whatever you want to call it, I don't think is one of those circuits. But as we get ready though, we are starting last, P16 out of 16, so we can't move backwards in this race, but the lights are coming on, it's lights out, and away we go there in towards the final corner. Basically, this first race was just to sort of test the waters and everything like that, just see how we'd fare. 5 laps ahead of us though here tonight, so yeah, hopefully we can, you know, at least make up a couple of places. I haven't got too high expectations at the moment. Like I said, I was just sort of testing the waters and learning this game as we run horrendously wide through a turn 1 there. That was not what we needed of the start of this race. So we actually had one of the TX3 people. I don't know if they're really in TX3 or not. You seem to see a lot of TX3 people on GT Sport. But yeah, Bottle Sparks just up the road there, the Britishman up in front of us there. We've already got some yellow flags out, and I think there's a little bit kicking off towards the top of the hill. Obviously, it's normally the best overtaking place on this track there, and it appears that the Italian in, I think, the Lamborghini, I might be wrong there, has made a bit of a mistake, so he's been dropped down towards the rear of the field. They're still in front of me, though. Definitely, we're not quite in touch with the rest of the field at the moment there as we go for a little bit of a tank slapper out of turn 3 there as we head down in towards turn 4 and turn 5 here. This hopefully is where the Toyota's not so bad. You know, it's meant to be quite good, I think, on the turn-in, but clearly still struggling a little bit here as we head down in towards the final sector of the lap there. And yeah, everyone's still just getting a little bit away from me there. The Italian, though, has almost gone right the way around, so that's going to be finally moving up 1 place in this race there. And yeah, happy that we've at least made progress on the opening lap of this race as we head through the final couple of corners. They're really trying to ride the sausage curbs. Definitely do not want first gear through that final corner. You can definitely get away with second in this car. But yeah, the Italian has dropped way off the rear of the field there, so it's going to be interesting to see if he can close out that gap, and if so, by how much in this race. There are more yellow flags out as we head through turn 1 and turn 2 there. I think that's actually someone rage quitting from this race there, because we're now up into P14 of this race. So we're making progress, slowly but surely, and at the moment I was just sat behind the rest of the field and just hoping to try and capitalise on any mistakes there. We actually now had VGIA Blackout, the Spaniard, just in front of us, and I mean, I'm pretty certain he started on the pole, so that is certainly not the best way to kick off his evening in this race here as we head down in towards Sector 3 once again towards the end of lap 2 here, and he's clearly struggling a little bit, getting very loose, probably a little bit frustrated as well, depending on what kicked off towards the front of the field here. Either that or he's lost a huge amount of pace over the course of this race here. But as we head down in towards the final couple of corners, you can see the Italian behind us has taken quite a bit of time out of us on this lap here. I think he's taken about a second out of us over the space of the lap here, and you can see it's all starting to get very close just in front there. The Britishman in the Toyota does run very wide out of the final corner there. We think about trying to follow the Lamborghini past him as we head down in towards T1. They don't really want to have a look up the inside through T1. It's not really a corner. You ideally want to go side by side with someone else has gone. I think that was an Audi straight into the opposite Armco barrier there, so that was not ideal for him. But as we head up the hill once again, though, are we able to get any sort of run on, I think it's the VG1? Is it a Lexus? Is it a Toyota? I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty certain it is a Toyota, but it might have Lexus. I don't know. It's a VG1 at the end of the day. That's all I know in this race there. But anyway, going back to him, though, he's having a look potentially on the Lamborghini once again here as we head down the next straightaway here. You know, these two battling could hopefully bring me in, you know, open up an opportunity perhaps in this race here. The Lambo runs wide out over the gravel there, and I think we might get close enough to potentially have a look down in towards the double left-hander here. No, not quite close enough this time round, and definitely don't feel confident enough to go for any lunges at the moment as we head down through the final couple of corners of Sector 2. Once again in this race here. Down in through Sector 3 now. Oh, we have to keep it nice and tiny. No, we dip our wheel out on the gravel there, and that's going to cost us a little bit of time as we head in towards the final couple of corners. That's actually going to give us a half a second penalty as well there. So a little bit unfortunate, running horrendously wide through the penultimate corner there. That was not really the racing line through there, is once again losing even more time, picking up more penalties. It's all going all pear-shaped at this stage of the race here. With 2 laps to go, you can see actually the Lambo in front of us has also picked up a half-second penalty there. But yeah, it's all going wrong at this stage of the race. That almost run completely off the circuit at T1 as well there. But yeah, at the moment, we're just trying to survive this opening race. The Lambo behind us is definitely taking a lot of time out of us as well here. So we got 2 Italians behind us, one in the Lambo, one in an Audi. Are they going to get close enough in the final stages of this race here as we head up towards the top of the hill once again? That we are going to serve our penalty, and how much closer is the Lambo going to get? You can see he's obviously going to be gaining a huge amount of time there, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. He might have actually get a penalty himself, in all honesty there. And as we head on now to the final lap of the race, you can see the guys in front have really just absolutely romped off at this stage here, but we've still got the Lambo slowly but surely creeping in, closing up to us as well. We go purple, oh sorry, green even I should say, through Sector 1 as we get a huge punt at the top of the hill there. Not really what we needed. The Audi again makes another mistake here, and I think the Lambo was gonna wait up for us and then just decides, because as I'm struggling to get it back onto the road, that he's just gonna absolutely run away there. So not quite what we needed in this race. More yellow flags out. There's someone else has made a mistake, a German there, and I think, I'm not too sure what that is. It might be a Merc? I'm not 100% sure. In all honesty there, so it's all kicking off still in the late stages of this race. They're going to potentially go side by side in towards the final sector. No, the Audi runs wide once again off into the gravel trap, so it looks like we're not going to finish last in this race. The German picks up a 5-second time penalty. I'm pretty certain there was some contact there between them. That's probably why the Audi ran off. So yeah, maybe that's hopefully going to help us out as well in this race. And he's not going to be able to serve the penalty as we head down in towards the final few corners of the race. As we head through the final 2 corners here, it's going to be P14 on the road, but unless we absolutely mess this up, it should be P13 at the end of the opening race here, back on GT Sport. And yeah, you can see crossing the line, it is going to be P13 at the end of the day there. It's actually an Aston Martin that takes home the race victory. So we said about how it was Lambo Central, and we didn't even see a Lambo in the top 3 at the end of the day. It was a Swede, 2 Swedes actually in the Astons getting on the podium there with, I think it was a Ferrari in P2. But yeah, moving on though into race 2, we have joined the dark side. We have gone to Lamborghini, ready for this one. Now we actually start this race P15, because I actually don't want to brag, I actually did a qualifying lap this time round. So we're now in the best car on the grid for the second race here, and hopefully that can show signs of some good progress as we break in towards T1 there. Still running horrendously wide through that first corner there, and that's going to allow the VG1 to be able to have a look up the inside there. And yeah, we're not going to try and fight him all too much, as he's actually gone to the Mclaren F1, so that's an interesting choice around this circuit. I remember when this thing came out, it was very, very strong, but I'm pretty certain got nerfed very, very quickly there, as that is one loud McLaren as we reach the top of the hill there. And yeah, he's going to be very, very quick. I'm pretty certain the McLaren is still very, very strong down the straights, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do up against the Porsche RSR just in front of him here. They're going to go side by side as they head down in towards Sector 2. They can see a lot of contact going on the Audi across the road, a Lamborghini out in the gravel trap here. They're 3 wide just in front of me here. This is exactly what we want to see in this race as we try to have a look to the outside perhaps. No, we're just going to slot in behind, maybe capitalise, pick up on the exit, try to get up the inside of the Audi there, and that is exactly what we've done. They have a sniff up the inside of the Porsche there, but he's still trying to get up the inside of the McLaren there. We run off the exit of the corner, and they're still side by side as we head down in towards Sector 3 there. And this is why GT Sport is so good fun, because you really can get a lot of side-by-side racing here. In towards Sector 3, running a bit deep through the first part of the double right-hander towards the end of the lap there, and the McLaren is going to be able to get the position finally and move himself up into P12. A huge tank slapper, though, from myself. And if you watch that one back, we never even lifted off the throttle there. Absolute confidence in the Lamborghini there. And we kept it pointing in the right direction in the end. And I'm pretty certain the guy in last is also the guy that made the mistake in the last race there. But we're going to be able to get the run of the Xfitcho T1 here. So we're still side by side with the Audi as we head up the hill here. I'll be able to have a look around the outside. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to slot in nice and tidily in front of him as we reach the top of the hill. They're braking just at the 2 cones, so I'm pretty certain it's about the 100-metre board there, running a little bit deep, but not too much. That's hopefully not going to cost us too much time in this race there. And you can see the Porsche still just in front of us here, and over the next couple of laps, we will be trying to stick close to these guys. The Mclaren moving around in towards the braking zone there. That's going to help us get just a little bit closer there in towards the final corner. Yellow flags are out. Someone's actually span into the pit lane there. We're able to get up the inside of the Porsche as well, as he makes a bit of a mistake through the final corner. You can see penalties further up the road as well there, as we actually set a 1:30.5, so only 7/10 off the fastest lap of the race there. The Porsche, I honestly didn't realise he was going for a lunge at the inside there. I wasn't concentrating on the radar, so he went for a bit of a full send there, and we completely slammed the door shut on him. But over the next couple of laps, though, we would just be picking up a couple of places through penalties there. VW running slowly now, move ourselves up into P11 of this race. We've still got a couple more cars fighting up the road here, and I'm pretty certain that is the McLaren still just in front of us here. TX3 Bottle Sparks, always just in front of me in these races, it does appear, as we head in towards the final few corners of this race. You can see down at the hill for one final time, and we're definitely making progress at the moment. We're actually green as we head through in towards Sector 3 here, so maybe we can see a PB. Nope. The curbs are going to be lethal and ruin our chances of a good result. There we go, spinning, pirouetting, everything like that, and then right at the last moment, we're actually going to get sort of spun back around there. So what was going to be a fairly respectable P11, we made up some good places in this race, ended up all coming to nothing at the end of the day there, as through the final couple of corners we go. It is only going to be P14 at the end of the race there, so only one place made up. After all of that was a little bit heartbreaking, I'll be honest, but we can focus on the third race of the night there. And I must admit, with how much driver rating we're probably losing from this, perhaps I need to make a series, the hunt for A+ on GT Sport. But yeah, it is a Huracan that takes home the race victory this time around. The Swede in the Aston, though, does get back on the podium there, ahead of actually a Nissan GTR. That is sometimes quite a strong car, I've heard, as well on GT Sport in the right hands. But yeah, only one place made up after all of that in the end of the second race. But we are going to go for one final time here. This time around, we've actually done some qualifying. We've managed to get a sub 1:30 there, so happy with that one. And I'm pretty certain now we've been bumped down into a slightly lower lobby, so maybe, just maybe, we can try and fight towards the front of the field here. But yeah, we are going to be starting P4 for this final race of the night then. What are we able to do in this one? We've got a Porsche just in front of us there, and I think actually a Nissan leading the way for this final race of the night there. But the lights are going to be coming on now. It's 3, 2, 1, and it's lights out, and away we go there. And hopefully we can potentially, I'd love to get a podium just once, finish this race, finish this video even, I should say, on a high. As we head down in towards Turn 1, they're not using the curb on the outside this time around. It can be very, very quick, but also can really unsettle the car quite a lot as well here as we head out of the first couple of corners here. And the top 4, we're all hopefully, going to be trying to fight for this race victory. If we can make a bit of a breakaway from the Italian behind us, that would be quite nice as well, as we head towards the top of the hill though. And we are going to get full sent by a couple of other people there. Not too sure what that was all about, but we're up to P3 after all of that, so I guess we'll take it. Not too sure yet what the Spaniard in the Nissan was attempting, but yeah, we've gained a place out of it. Are we going to get lunged again? You just see the Italian come into view on the radar there, but not this time around, luckily enough for ourselves here. And over the next couple of laps, there will be a really, really good battle brewing between the Spaniard in the lead, as well as I think it's the Croatian in P2 there. We set the fastest lap of the race, so we've definitely got some good pace as well here. A 1:29.7. Oh, I would love to have got that in some of the earlier races here tonight on GT Sport. But yeah, maybe, just maybe, we can try and squabble with these guys towards the end of this race here. We've reached the halfway stage now, so there are still 3 laps to go of this race as they go side by side towards the top of the hill here. It looks like the Mercedes is trying to get the cut back on the exit of the corner there. A little bit of contact unsettles the pair of them here, and all this is doing at the moment is allowing me just to get a little bit closer, able to take the double slipstream as we head down the hill here. And we've got, just you can see, the Nissan ever so slightly better towards the top end there. Once again, just getting very, very close in towards the braking zone here. And I was hoping, potentially, maybe, just maybe, we could try and capitalise and get a double overtake out of this in one go. But obviously, sometimes you just got to get yourself involved in the battle. Sometimes you just got to try and work your way around it as best as possible. We'll wait and see as to how this unfolds as we head down in towards Sector 3 here, towards the end of lap 3. You've got to be careful of those curbs now. They definitely should be the way in race 2 here as we head in towards the final couple of corners of the lap here. You see the Nissan still in the lead there, but the Mercedes is definitely hassling him. They're very, very different cars on GT Sport there, and I think that's what's creating quite a good little race here between the pair of them there. The Mercedes gets a much better run out of the final corner here, and is he able to have a look for something up the inside in towards 2-1 then? No, the Nissan goes defensive and then slams the door shut in towards the first corner there. We've got yellow flags out, not too sure what that's about. Someone has span on the inside there, and it's just going to stay out of the way and let us all through here. But you can see the Mercedes right under the rear wing of that Nissan here. Is he able to have a look around the outside as we head up towards T2 here? He's going to try and go late on the brakes, I'd imagine. No, the Nissan actually slightly later on the brakes there, so the Merc's going to try and go for that switchback once again there. Is the Nissan going to be able to cut it off? Once again, it's going to be a drag race between the pair of them here, and this is a fantastic little battle that really you only tend to get on GT Sport. That's what makes this game so much fun. They're still side by side between the pair of them as they head down the hill once again here, and at the moment I'm just trying to bide my time, watching the battle unfold, seeing if there's going to be any sort of, they run side by side through a corner, ruin each other's run, and we can try and make it 3 wide and sneak up the inside through the middle, whatever we can possibly open up here, as they're still side by side as we head down the hill, and the Mercedes all over the curbing around the outside there. Is he going to be able to hook up a run around the outside? They're getting very, very aggressive with each other there. The Nissan tries to slam the door shut here. Are we able to align him a move? No, the Merc just slams the door shut as well there. And yeah, definitely, they're maybe a little bit wary of me trying to, just sneak by at the late stages of this race here as we head down in towards Sector 3. The Nissan, both of them just not clipping the sausage curb there, and that's exactly what you want to do through the final quarter here. The Merc, though, still just doesn't quite have the top end to go for anything as we head down in towards T1 here, and this is what was frustrating for me, because I wanted him to try and get side by side with him and potentially ruin both their runs on the exit of the corner here. And you can see as we head up towards T2 for one final time in this race here, is he actually going to be able to go for anything? Perhaps he needs to go full send. We'll wait and see there. The Nissan still just playing it a little bit defensive there. The Merc to the outside there. We're going to try and sneak up the inside on the exit of the corner there, and it's going to be a drag race now as we head down the hill here, and the Spaniard is actually going to give the Merc the slipstream there, so that was not what we needed as we head down the hill here, and you can see just that little bit extra for the Mercedes there. We thought about trying to keep it up the inside, but very, very brave on the brakes from the Mercedes there. Doesn't quite clip the apex, but he does maintain good wheel speed, and he's able to get it around the outside as we head down the hill here, and that might have just opened up a bit of an opportunity for the Nissan there. Still, the guy that we lapped a couple of laps ago is having a bit of an explore around the Red Bull ring as we head down in towards the final couple of corners here. Are we able to go for any sort of move out through these final corners? No, dip a wheel out on the gravel there, get a little bit loose. Don't want to make the same mistake we made in race 2 there, and it looks like as we head down in towards the final couple of corners there, we've gained some experience from some, tight little battle action, a little battle pack in this race there, but unfortunately it's still only going to be P3 at the end of the day there as we head through the final corner. The Nissan does take home the race victory. That top end speed really did come in clutch at the end of the day for him there, and then the Merc in at P2. A couple of Porsches just behind us ahead of actually the Nissan in P6 there, the one that went for the disastrous punt through T1 there. But yeah, that was our return back to Gran Turismo Sport on the channel today. Definitely felt I learned a lot, got my wheel settings in and everything like that in these races, so hopefully we can continue to try and make good progress here as well over the next few weeks. Like I said, I sort of want to do a little bit more GT Sport here and there, want to try and get back into it a bit more regularly during 2020 there. But yeah, that was definitely a good couple of races to get ourselves back into it nonetheless, and to finish with a podium is certainly nice at the end of the day as well there. But yeah, obviously if you guys did enjoy this video, do get yourself subscribed as well. Obviously if you want to see more Gran Turismo Sport on the channel there, we pick up the fastest lap star as well. And hopefully, down the line, we can try and fight for more race fixtures. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video, and hopefully, I will see you guys next time for more GT Sport.